All right, we're here until 12:25 with Jaemyn Brakefield, who's directly to my left, Eduardo Klafke, who is next to him. Raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get a mic to you. Let's go in the front row here, first seat.
Hey, Jaemyn, just what does it mean to the team?
Please introduce yourself.
Jake Thompson, Ole Miss Spirit on 3. What does it mean to get Mikhail back this week? I know y'all missed him a couple weeks, but just to have his presence back on the bench.
No, it's great. Obviously, he has a great personality. We enjoy everybody's spirit on the team, so, having him come back, it brought life to the locker room even more.
Front row, second seat, third seat.
Jaemyn, Jared Redding, Inside the Rebels on 24/7 Sports. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like, as a player, you were pretty active in kind of the recruiting process of getting, some of these portal guys here that are contributors in this year's team. Just if you kind of recall, kind of in retrospect, what were those conversations like with him, especially as someone who had already been there for a couple of years and knowing what you had ultimately ahead of you?
Yeah, they were direct and honest with each and every person. Obviously, I was pretty much on everybody's visit that is at Ole Miss right now. So just, having those honest conversations and being able to be real, to know what we're trying to do, which is win a national championship.
Front row on the right.
Robbie Listella, Brakefield.org. Jaemyn, Coach Beard mentioned bringing guys back was part of his plan, but he wanted to bring back the right guys who could make a jump in their game. How do you think this year has helped you do that personally? Yeah,
just being honest with guys and not sugarcoating anything. Obviously, me and Coach Beard had a great conversation in meetings last summer, so just getting the game plan of what we wanted to do and just getting rid of all the bluff.
Third row on the right.
Hey, Andy Mathis, USA Today. This is for either of you guys. Coach Beard talked a little bit about chemistry and buy-in. When did this team feel like it clicked, not just as teammates, but as a group that could make a run in March, or was there any specific moment?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Coach Beard talked a little bit about chemistry and buy-in. When did this team feel like it clicked, not just like as teammates, but as a group that can make a run in March? Was there a specific moment?
Jaemyn, you can start, and then Eduardo can answer.
Yeah, in the summertime, we've been through a lot of adversity early, and the coaching staff did a great job of creating those environments for us. So them putting us in those opportunities to, be us and be the best version of ourselves, they've done a great job of that.
Eduardo?
As Jaemyn said, since the first few days and weeks, I feel like we bonded together, and we created a great relationship with each other since like the first week.
Fourth row on the aisle to the left.
John Titel from Hoops HD for Eduardo. 29 years ago, your father played for Brazil, and Scottie Pippen played for the Dream Team 3 about a mile and a half away from here in the Olympics. Now you're playing here, and Scottie's son Justin, although he's in the portal, is on Michigan's team. My question, do you feel like it's kind of a full circle moment, and who's the best athlete in your family?
So it's a great feeling for me. My dad said that Scottie was probably the best player that he ever played against. So it's a great feeling to be here, close to his son now. And I'm definitely going to be the best athlete in the family.
Raise your hand if you have a question. Ken, fifth row in the back.
Question for Jaemyn. Ken Segura, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I had a question for you about NIL, and I know that there's often this idea that it's the wild, wild west and all that, but I'm curious from your perspective, how has it helped you? How has it, served you in a way that maybe you couldn't have before this?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, it changes lives. I don't know if y'all seen the story, obviously, with my little brother. So being able to change his life and move him out of the situation that he was in and move him to Oxford and be like the father figure for him, it's been great for me. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to do that with NIL.
John, right here, and then back to Ken.
John Titel from Hoops HD for Jaemyn. I believe the very first loss of your career was to Michigan State. So is there any sort of, have you been waiting your whole career to get this game?
Yeah, for sure. This was a great coach. He recruited me out of high school, so just having that relationship with him and taking that first loss, I've been thinking about it ever since.
Ken, back row on the aisle.
Again, could you actually expand a little bit about your brother and kind of that story?
Yeah, for sure. So his name's Brandon Hill. I met him about 8-9 years ago when he was 8 years old. Met him in Huntington, West Virginia, where I went to prep school. He's the nephew of my high school coach. So just him being around, he was like our little brother, little manager, and he just hung around his uncle all the time. just to get out of trouble. So stay away from trouble, my fault. But just him being around, I felt his energy. I kind of seen myself in him a lot. So just him being around a lot, I took him under my wing early, and then just stayed in touch all these years and just treat him like a little brother. And then just realized as he got older, realizing his situation, I wanted to, better his life. So with the help of NIL, I was able to move him to Oxford this past summer. And we've been able to build a bond. I got him at Oxford High School, so it's been a great road. And he'll be at the Sweet 16.
Let's go front row, third seat on the left.
For either one of you, Coach Beard has talked about, considering these type games as 4-team tournaments, even though it's obviously 6 games in 3 weekends. But, obviously y'all played in a 4-team tournament in San Diego back in November and, get some really stiff competition. I know it was a while ago, but do you feel like, that environment, that experience against that level competition was something y'all were able to draw from kind of going into this tournament?
Yeah, for sure. Just like I said, the coaching staff does a great job of putting us in those environments early and giving us those opportunities. Obviously they schedule those games for a reason against 2 great teams in San Diego, BYU, and Purdue. So I feel like that tournament prepared us. Obviously we fell short, but we're prepared.
Front row right here.
Robbie Brakefield.org. My question's for Eduardo. It's becoming harder for freshmen to earn time and minutes in a game, but you've played in 35 and averaged 10 minutes a game. What's it been like trying to carve out a role, especially with a lot of veterans on this team?
For sure. It's just about knowing what you have to do and knowing your role. I feel like since day one, it was very specific what I have to do to play in this game with veteran people. So it's just about knowing your role and knowing what you have to do to be in the court with these guys.
I'll speak on that as well. I feel like for Eduardo, it comes with preparation, and he's done a great job of that. If y'all don't know, he was here early in January of last year, so he kind of had a head start. I don't treat him like he's a freshman. That's why I get on him every once in a while and act like a vet. So I feel like he's somebody who's been under Coach Beard's wing and my wing. So him being ready to go in the game, he's no question.
Still have about 4 minutes. Raise your hand if you have a question. Does anybody have a question? Ken, we'll go back to Ken. Oh, sorry. We'll come to you next.
Jaemyn, to go back to the NIL stuff, if you could speak more broadly, you teammates, kids how you've seen NIL impacting their lives, aside from your story, obviously very impactful.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it allows you to be a pro on and off the court. I see guys, really take care of their bodies. Their diets are really good, and I feel like, with the chance of having the financial stability, they're able to do that. So NIL has been great, but I feel like everybody's been leaning on each other, and I feel like we got great nutritionists, great staff all around being able to help us, even away from NIL.
Front row here on the right.
Neil McCready, Rivals.com. This is for both of you, kind of the same related question. Eduardo, first of all, what's it like to be treated like a veteran by Jaemyn and the other guys? How much, how does it make you feel that you've earned their respect? And then along those lines, Jaemyn, have you, over the course of the last couple of years, sort of become almost like not a coach on the floor, but a mentor for a lot of these guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Eduardo, go ahead and answer the first question.
It feels really good. I feel like since the first days of practice, I feel like I kind of earned their respect just by playing hard. They know how hard I play and how competitive I am inside the court and off the court. So it feels really good to be treated like that, and I know that I have some kind of responsibility playing alongside these guys, being a freshman. So it feels really good.
Jaemyn, go ahead.
Yeah, and just like I said, it started early. Obviously, it's my 5th year, so having a lot of experience and knowing what I want to get done at the end of the year. 5 years of college basketball, it's a lot, and a lot of knowledge that I've been able to not only gain myself, but pour into others.
Still have a minute or two. Anybody have one more question? Okay.
Thank y'all.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.